name is Charako Yamamoto. My family is, I guess, something that people would call a famous political dynasty. My father is a Diet member, and so is my grandfather. He used to be a Diet member and also used to work as a minister as well. As for my great-grandfather, he's even printed on our history books. He's that famous. I was told from a very young age that he was a very great person. I know what you're trying to say, I get it. It sounds like something from a drama series, right? I know. So that was my family from my father's side. My mom, who came over to marry into his family, was also an incredible woman.
Charako, come over here. What do you mean by this? Explain these exam results to me this instant.
I'm sorry, Father. I tried. I did my best, but...
Your older brother Mitsuru never got grades below first place. His report cards would always be straight A's.
Well, I mean, big brother Mitsuru is just perfect, you know? He's a natural.
I wonder where you got this stupidness from.
Oh dear, please don't get so angry at her. Chariko's just a little girl now. She also has other things to remember and study for, you know. She's got more than schoolwork to do.
I guess you're right. We can just send her off to an all-girls university and get her to marry quickly. That's all right then. However, I will ask her to receive special lessons on ladylike manners. She has to be able to act like a proper lady, worthy of our family name. Do you understand?
Yes, of course I understand, my dear. I understand it all too well, and I'm sure Chariko understands this too. Aren't I right, Chariko? Yes, Mother, I understand. Within the family, I was treated as a failure. My father was never happy with me, and he always called me out for my low grades. In my family, my great-grandfather and my grandfather graduated from T University. My father and mother were K University alumni. My brother, Mitsuru, who is 7 years older than me, is currently attending T University. As for me, I somehow failed the entrance exams for the kindergarten attached to K University. Not even my parents' power of their money could push me into the school, and there began all of my name-calling as the biggest failure of the household. Ever since elementary school, my parents sent me to many private tutors and cram schools in a last-ditch effort to get me into a university-attached private middle school, but this backfired as well. I ended up attending a regular public school for middle school. Because of these numerous entrance exam challenges, I got extremely stressed out for every exam I took. Obviously, as you could imagine, it resulted in horrible grades for all of my assignments. It happened to me all the time. It was almost like I was traumatized from taking too many exams. In the end, I wasn't able to move on to the high school that my father expected me to attend.
Chariko, buddy, don't beat yourself up like that. It's gonna be fine.
Oh, big brother, why am I like this? Why am I so stupid? Why am I not like you? You're so talented at everything and you're so smart. I'm embarrassed at myself. I'm such a failure.
Don't say that, Chariko. You're not stupid at all. I think you're just under so much pressure from Dad. I mean, it almost feels unreasonable at this point. You're too stressed out all the time, and you're not able to give it your all.
Big brother, that means a lot. Thanks.
Don't you have any goals or dreams for the future? What do you want to be when you grow up?
Dreams, huh? Now that I think about it, I actually want to be a nurse when I'm older. Hey, remember the time when I was down with the flu and it got really rough, so I got hospitalized? The nurse there was really kind to me, and it was thanks to her that being at the hospital wasn't scary for me. I want to be like her when I grow up. She's been my role model for a long time.
Wow, I never knew. Thank you for sharing that with me, Chariko. I think that's a wonderful dream. I'm sure if you start working hard from now and aim to enter a nursing school or a university with a similar curriculum, I'm sure your dream will come true.
But I talked to Father about this before. He said there was no way he would allow me to aim for a school like that.
Huh? Why not?
Nurses are just lackeys to the doctors and patients, is what he said to me. He also said, you should just attend an all-girls university, get some bridal training, and get married quickly. That's your path to a happy life.
Man, I've gotta say, that's pretty rude. I think working as a nurse is an amazing career choice. Plus, I bet he's been helped out by nurses and doctors too when he visits the hospital. He's in no position to say that.
I know, right? I'm glad you feel the same way, big brother. You're the only one who's by my side.
Of course! What are you talking about? I'm your big brother, Chariko. You can always count on me. I'll be your biggest and most vocal fan of your dreams. I'll always support you.
Thank you so much. I feel so much better now. I'll start studying lots more to achieve my goals.
If you're ever stuck on something, or you get into any kind of trouble, just call me, okay? I promise I'll be there for you.
Yep, of course. I know I can always count on you, big brother. I'm so happy. And I'm so proud to be your little sister. Thanks to my newfound goal to become a nurse, I now had a clear vision on what to study and how to study for it. I totally boosted my motivation levels, and that was reflected very clearly on my report cards. Maybe it was because of this, my father stopped being so harsh on me like he was before. The insane amount of pressure I had on my shoulders relaxed a bit, and thanks to that, I was able to get first place on a school exam for the very first time in my life. Brother! Big brother, you've got to listen to my news! I got first place in the entire school for last semester's midterm exams!
Wow, Charako, that's amazing! See? I told you, right? You aren't stupid at all! I'm so proud of you!
Yeah, you were right. You're always right, big brother. I'll keep working hard and do my best for the rest of the school year. However, when I entered my final year of high school, my father came up to me. He was very visibly angry at something. His face was bright red as he glared at me.
Charako, I need you to explain these mock exam results to me right this instant!
Huh?
Why is it written here that your first choice major is Department of Nursing? I need a very clear explanation.
I'm sorry for keeping it a secret, Father, but I really want to be...
Oh, please, don't tell me that you're still rambling about this being a nurse is my dream nonsense.
Yes, Father, please. I really truly want to become a nurse. It's been my dream for the longest time, and
No, I will not let this happen. Absolutely not. I am not sending you to university to become a nurse. Just when I thought you were finally starting to function as a decent human being, I will not allow a member of my household to work as a nurse. Such a lowly, unworthy job. It will be so disgraceful. I will not let this happen. Do you hear me?
Father, please listen to me. Becoming a nurse isn't like that. It's a wonderful job, and I'm sure that you, Father, have experienced being in their care at least once in your life.
Hush! I don't want to hear this. Plus, you do understand that you have to take care of many things that you might find uncomfortable, don't you?
Yes, I understand that very well, Father. I understand, and I still think it's a job that I can take pride in doing. Our society would never function properly without nurses. They are an essential part of our everyday lives.
Goodness! What's all the ruckus about?
Big brother.
Oh! Mitsuru, it's you! You have to hear this. This ignorant little fool says she wants to become a nurse when she grows up. Now, don't you think that's ridiculous? I was just telling her off that she should quit this nonsense right away. So that's what was going on. I see. Mitsuru, go on and say something to her. Talk her out of this nonsense. Charako, are you fully 100% aware of what being a nurse is like? Have you done your research?
Of course I have, I promise.
No means no. I mean it. You should just listen to what I say. You won't have things your way. Never. I have proper plans ready for you. You should just follow that.
What do you mean you have plans ready for me?
Just graduate from whatever university, an all-girls one, and I'll get you a decent man for you. I'll set up a nice arrangement for your marriage. It's for your sake, it's for your happiness, and also for the overall benefit of this family.
Father, don't you understand that this is my life and not yours? I think I have every right to lead a life that I want. Getting married as soon as I graduate? Nuh-uh, no thank you. Not a chance.
From the moment you were born on this earth and into my household, there is no such thing as your life. I'm appalled that you didn't understand this all this time.
No way, that's too horrible. Mitsuru, big brother Mitsuru, say something to him too, please.
Well, I guess it can't be helped.
Big brother, I knew you would be on my side. After all, you said you would always support me no matter what.
It can't be helped since it seems like we aren't able to reach a mutual agreement, Father. We can kick her out of our family, cut ties, disown her.
Huh? Did I mishear that? Big brother, there's just no way.
If you're that desperate to become a nurse, go on, do as you wish. But the day you graduate high school, you should pack your things and leave this house. Mitsuru, I thank you for your idea, but, don't you think that'll be a bit too harsh for her? Father, I'm sure you understand already. You already have a proper successor to the family. Me. There's no need to keep a dumb daughter like Charako around. Well, I guess that makes sense, to an extent. Plus, if she's only bringing shame and disappointment to the family, we can just pretend like she never existed in the first place.
Big brother? After graduating from university, my older brother Mitsuru began working as my father's secretary at his office. Mitsuru, big brother Mitsuru, you promised me that you would support my dreams no matter what. You promised me that you'll always be on my side and help me out when I'm in trouble. Was that all a lie? Soon after graduating from high school, I moved out to attend a university that offered nursing programs. The university was out of town, and of course, my parents never offered to pay tuition. From a huge family mansion to a small dormitory life. But it finally felt like this was the start of my new life. Jericho! Hey, do you want to go out drinking this Friday? Sorry, I have to work this Friday. You really have it rough, huh? Yeah, I guess so. You were raised by a single mom, right? And the only parent you had passed away when you were in high school. Yup, so that's why I have to work even harder. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know, okay? I want to be able to support you as a friend. Thank you so much. That means a lot. I kept my true background hidden from my classmates and friends around me. But even if I did tell them the truth and explained my backstory, I don't think they would ever believe I come from a very wealthy politician-heavy family when I'm always working insane shifts to pay rent.
Hey, Charako, you look really sleepy today. What's up?
Dr. Sagai! Oh no, you were already here?
I was here this whole time. You didn't notice me?
Oh, I'm sorry for yawning like that during work.
Well, if you're that sleepy, here you are. A nice hot cup of coffee.
Oh, you didn't have to. Thank you very much, sir.
A university student during the day, and in the evening, you're working night shifts as a part-time assistant nurse. You really are a hard worker, aren't you, Charako?
Not at all.
Have you gotten used to working here? Is everything alright?
Oh no, I still have lots of knots to remember.
You called me doctor back there, but I'm still a resident, you know? But I think I can still help you out in some way or another, so feel free to come up to me when you're stuck with something, okay?
Thank you very much.
I still have lots to study too, so let's both do our best.
While studying at university, I started working night shifts as an assistant nurse. It helped me get some first-hand experience as a baby nurse, and it also paid well because it was pretty much overnight duty. Plus, more than anything, I was kind of obsessed with this Dr. Sagai, who was a resident at this hospital. I was head over heels and was always so excited to work my night shifts thanks to him. Hey, Jericho! Don't you think you've gotten really pretty lately? Huh? Are you serious? Oh, it's a guy! It has to be a guy! No, it's not like that. I promise. Who is it? Is it somebody from your workplace? From our seminars?
Hey, what's this fuss I'm hearing? Are you two lovely ladies gossiping about me?
Oh, it's Mr. Sakura. Hi there.
Is it true that Miss Lovely Charako has a huge crush on me?
That's not it. We weren't talking about you, Mr. Sakura.
Now, you're such a shy baby, aren't you? You don't have to shy away from me. No need to hide away your true feelings, am I right?
Well, to be very honest, I am not in love with you.
I know. I understand, sweetie Charako. For I am the heir to a very powerful prefectural assembly member, and I'm a very talented med student who will soon be an amazing doctor. And on the other hand, in your case, you're a poor nursing school student who has nobody else to rely on.
I've never pitied myself like that before, though.
You're such a reserved good girl, aren't you? Well, I mean, that's what makes you very attractive, you know. Now, don't be shy.
Jesus, are his ears functioning properly? Could you maybe just stop bothering me?
Huh? To turn down my offer like that? You're the only person who's ever done that before. You sure are a cheeky one, aren't you?
You would be gravely mistaken if you really think everybody loves you because of your status.
With an attitude like that, it makes me want to chase you down even more.
I have a night shift coming up. Now, if you'll excuse me, this dork, Sagara, goes to the same university as me. His father is a member of the prefectural assembly, and I guess he holds quite some power in that field. His overall attitude just shows how he thinks he'll have things his way. Moreover, when I look at Sagara and talk to him, he just reminds me of my family.
Charako, honey! Sweetie! Let me drive you to work.
No.
Well, I'm sure you've never ridden a $10,000 car before.
I said no thank you.
What's up with that beat-up bicycle? If you go out with me, I can always get you the newest model from the most famous bicycle brand.
I have no plans on going out with you.
Ouch! You really are harsh, aren't you? I don't think you'll ever meet another man like me in your lifetime.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm not interested in the slightest. Can you just please leave me alone now? It's really stressing me out, and I don't like this.
I mean, there's no such thing as leaving my side anymore.
What is he on about? What do you mean you're already mine? Darn him for treating me like an object. This whole conversation really pushed me past my breaking point, and I decided to make a move. It was all or nothing. Excuse me, Mr. Sagura? I really need you to stop approaching me like that.
You must be lying. Very funny, Charako.
It's true, I'm not lying.
Well then, you'll have to tell me who this man is. Show me photos. Bring him to me. I'll check him out.
It doesn't matter who he is.
You can't tell me who he is, so it must be a lie. See? I told you. You should just quit being so stubborn and simply become my girlfriend.
Why don't you believe me?
Then who is it? You have to tell me.
He's from my workplace, from my part-time job. But we're seeing each other in private. We're keeping things a secret, you know? Maybe it was too much of a bold move. I told a blatant lie that I was going out with someone because Sakura was being so annoying and didn't stop pestering me. After accidentally telling Sakura that I was going out with someone from my workplace, he began distancing himself from me. He stopped appearing wherever I went, and that really helped my mental well-being. But...
Charako! What happened?
Stay away from this chick. Break up with her.
What? Who are you?
It doesn't matter who I am. I'm telling you, you ought to stay away from her if you don't want to get hurt.
I can't do that! She's a precious colleague of mine! I won't let you hurt her!
Pah, trying to act so tough.
No, you can't!
Ah! Charako!
When I realized, I was lying on the hospital bed.
Charako? Oh, thank goodness, you've woken up!
Huh? What happened to me?
You ran in front of me and got stabbed in my place. Gosh, you didn't have to do that. You can be really reckless sometimes.
Never mind me. Dr. Sagai, are you alright?
I'm not hurt anywhere. It's thanks to you, Charako. You saved me. I can't thank you enough.
Oh, thank goodness.
Excuse me. You got terribly injured, and that's nothing to be glad about. You're a girl, you know. I need you to promise that you'll never do anything like this ever again.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry for causing trouble and making you worried.
I was so scared seeing you lying there, not regaining consciousness. The doctor said that if you rest up for a few days, you can go back home.
Okay then, I'll be sure to rest well. Oh, yeah, what happened to the guy who came to attack you?
The guards rushed over to catch him. Thankfully, he didn't get very far. So I'm sure he's being questioned by the police right now.
Okay, phew, at least he got caught. It would have been much scarier if he was still at large or something. But why did he come to attack us? It seemed very deliberate.
We can talk about that later, once you've gotten better, Charako. For now, take your time and rest up. Focus on getting well soon.
Okay, Dr. Sagai. However, this relief only lasted for a few days. After I was discharged from the hospital, I was shocked to hear the truth from Sagai. Well, now that I'm out of the hospital, back to tip-top shape, you promised me to tell the truth about what happened that day. Do you know the whole story?
About what happened the other day. Do you know the prefectural assembly member, Mr. Sagara? Apparently his son reached out to a gang member and sent him to attack us.
What?
But Assembly Member Sagara exercised his political powers to cover up this whole incident.
To sum things up, Sagara thought that I was going out with Dr. Sagai, so he went up to a group of thugs and ordered one of them to go up to Dr. Sagai and threaten him to break up with me. Apparently, Sagara didn't expect me to get hurt in any sort of way, but of course, he didn't get into any trouble. The thug that assaulted us got thrown into jail as a one-man crime. This is all my fault. If it weren't for the silly lie I told him, none of this would have happened.
It's okay. Don't worry, Charako. You didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, hey, Charako! Congrats on getting out of the hospital!
You little... How dare you come up to me like that?
Huh? What are you talking about?
Don't play dumb with me. I know what you've done.
Oh, so you know! Man, I thought Daddy had cleared everything up perfectly. I wonder where you got this information. Well, at least I think you finally understand what happens when you disobey me.
I can't believe it. You're such a jerk.
You should understand my true powers now. Just shut up and do as I say.
No! No! Stay away from me!
What do you think you're doing to my precious little sister?
Let go! Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Charco's older brother. I see that you've been looking after my little sister for a while.
Big brother? What are you doing here?
Huh? What? Your brother?
Kenta, you moron! You fool!
Daddy! Jeez, you scared me. What's up?
How dare you do something like this to a family like you?
Huh? I'm lost. What's going on? Why are you so angry like that?
This lady here is the daughter of Shutaro Yamamoto, one of the Diet members.
What? Yamamoto in politics? The Yamamoto family? The one with 3 generations of Diet members?
Miss Charco, I am so terribly sorry for what happened. I can't apologize enough.
But that can't be. Charco is poor and doesn't have any family members, and she's always working so much.
We sent her to this environment and had her work and study very hard so she gets some social skills. Every girl needs an experience like that, right? She left the house at the same age as her high school graduation, so maybe she made up a story that was a bit easier to explain to others. If people around here knew that she was from a family of very powerful politicians, it could cause her trouble.
Jeez!
To have hurt my precious family member, my dearest little sister like this, I'm sure you're well aware of the consequences you'll be paying for. I beg you, sir, please. I don't want to turn this into a huge problem, you know. Who knows what it'll do to our family reputation, and of course, I would like to continue our friendly relationship with your father, you know? Absolutely not. Do you actually think I give a damn about your reputation? I will have to ask you to pay the price for what you've done. This isn't something that I can dismiss so easily. If it's money you need, here, take it! Take all of it if you must! No thank you, Mr. Sagara. You should know all too well that it's not money that we're looking for. I mean, I think you can tell that we're obviously not struggling financially. But however, if my son is charged and gets arrested for a violent crime, what will happen to my next campaign? Well, to be very honest with you, I certainly don't give 2 shits about what happens to your campaign. Oh, please, Mr. Yamamoto, don't be so cruel like that! Hey, Kenta, you fool! You bow down and apologize too!
Why me? I've done nothing wrong! Don't yell at me, Daddy!
In the end, the stupid son of the Sagara family got arrested for instigating violent crime. However, what surprised me the most was how through this arrest, we found out that Kenta Sagara actually got into med school through backdoor admissions. A gossip article released this information, and the article also said that Assembly member Sagara stacked huge sums of money to the university to get his son accepted to the med school. In the end, Sagara, the son, got kicked out of his department and the university. Throughout this whole incident, I also found out that my brother was actually helping me escape my strict household. Those harsh words that he had said to my father back in high school was all for my sake.
I always felt I was enough of a sacrifice. You really didn't need to go through the same hardships like me.
Big brother, I'm sorry, I never knew. That day, the day you told father he should just disown me, I was so shocked. I thought you've changed for good. I thought you were just going to be like father.
I told you, didn't I? I would always be there for you, and you can always count on me. You're working so hard towards your dreams. I'm so proud of you. Charako, you can keep living your dream life. Nobody's stopping you.
Big brother, thank you so much. That means a lot coming from you. But how did you know that I was in trouble?
Well, that... I'll have to keep it a secret. But don't worry. I can cross my heart and promise you that I'm not doing anything weird to know what you're up to.
Okay. I won't be asking any more questions then.
Oh, and also, Dad's pretty worried about you, you know? You should come back home every now and then and come say hi to him.
Father worried about me? Huh? It doesn't seem realistic at all to me.
That I can promise you too. Whenever he finds a chance, he always asks me, "Are you keeping in touch with Charako? How's she doing?" A bit cute, right?
Well, I guess I could pop in to say hi for once. Just once, I'm telling you that.
And you were Mr. Sugai? I'm trusting you with Charako, okay? Of course, Mr. Mitsuru. I promise I'll be by Miss Charako's side.
Huh?
Charako, you really are dense about these sorts of things, aren't you? As your one and only big brother, you do make me worried sometimes. Really, she never catches on to any of my signs that I like her.
What? No way! And so, now I work as a professional nurse at a hospital. After my brother told me to go back home every now and then, I do visit ever so often. When I do, my father would come up to me and say, "Being a nurse must be rough. You should maybe get married and quit your job." That's literally all he says. But unlike before, he stopped saying things that belittled nurses as a career. Apparently, after I left my home, my father got ill and was hospitalized for a while. There, he saw how hard-working nurses were and understood the importance of their jobs. Mother told me the story. My father would never tell me this directly. Well, if he truly understands and appreciates nursing as a career, I guess him getting ill was worth it.
Well then, Charako, I'll be counting on you again.
Yes, Dr. Sagai. As for Dr. Sagai, I could finally officially call him Dr. Sagai, as he finished his residency and became a full-grown doctor. Plus, I have plans to marry Dr. Sagai next year. My entire family is very supportive of Dr. Sagai's endeavors, and they all respect his work very much. They all approved of my wedding in a heartbeat. I guess you really have no idea what life has prepared for you. From now on, I'll be sure to lead a happy life with Dr. Sagai. My name is Nano. I'm 28 years old. I'm a brand new mother to a 1-month baby girl, and between breastfeeding and looking after her, I haven't been able to get any sleep. I hadn't fully recovered from giving birth either, and my body was completely exhausted, but I was gritting my teeth and doing my best.
I'm home, Nano!
Ah! I'm sorry, sweetie. We're finally about to fall asleep, too.
Aw, my sweet baby girl Sakura, come to daddy.
Hey, Soro! Did you go out for drinks again after work?
Come here.
You idiot! And how could I give my baby who can barely sit up on her own to a guy who can barely stand on his own 2 feet?
Aw, come on. I'm not drunk at all.
That's exactly what a drunk person would say.
Another long day. I'm exhausted.
My husband fell asleep right there on the floor. His name is Sorao Akio. Unfortunately, the matter of fact is that I'm married to him. I met him 3 years ago and he kept chasing after me, so I agreed to start dating him. We got married a year ago, and shortly after, our daughter Sakura was born. I was on maternity leave to focus on my baby, and my hands are full every day with her. Sorao has always been a bit of a playboy, but he was always the life of the party, so I didn't mind that too much. But the worst part was his drinking habits. Once he had a few drinks, he would always come home in a triumph and then immediately pass out right on the spot. He wouldn't remember a single thing from that night. On top of that, the next day...
My hemorrhoids! It hurts! Oh.
Shut up! Sit down! I already had my hands full raising a newborn baby. But why do I also have to insert more genial meds into this grown little boy that I don't even remember giving birth to? If I had known that he was this much of an alcoholic, I probably would have reconsidered marrying him. But before we got married, he was so good at hiding it that I never realized the extent of his alcoholism. Now that we have a child between us, I needed him to take responsibility as a father and lay off the drinks a little bit, but...
I'm working really hard for this. I can't keep doing it without having a drink. Unlike you, who just gets to roll around at home all day.
And well, that's the response I get. I still do my best and try to get him to change his habits, but there were no signs of that happening anytime soon. That being said, at least he was doing the drinking outside of the house. However, the other day, my husband sent me an outrageous text message.
Nano!
Sorao, are you out drinking again? Hurry up and come home before you get too drunk.
Relax, I'm fine. I'm not drunk at all.
It's too late.
Hey, listen. I'm about to bring some of the guys from work to our house.
What? Right now?
They're insisting that they want to see my little girl. They want to celebrate with us. Isn't that nice?
It's very nice that they feel that way, but please give me a break. I'm still not fully recovered, and even then, I'm breastfeeding every 3 hours and I am completely exhausted. Even if they come, I won't be able to do anything for them.
Oh, come on. All you have to do is put out a few snacks for us.
So that means you expect me to take care of you all.
Isn't that a wife's job?
Are you stupid? In what household would there be a husband who brings his colleagues over to his house with a 1-month-old newborn baby and his breastfeeding wife?
Right here?
What part of this do you not understand?
But we're almost there already.
What? Where are you right now?
At the front door.
You were already on your way?
Open up!
I can't! I need to breastfeed Sakura soon too!
Seriously? Then I guess we're getting a breastfeeding show too.
Excuse me?
Everyone says they want to see you breastfeeding too. Yeah! Boobs! Boobs!
What? What the hell are these idiots saying? And my husband trying to show his breastfeeding wife to other people? Has my husband lost his mind? I'm at a loss for words. I can't. Seriously, I can't do this.
Nano? Hello? Nano?
I felt my feelings towards my husband dissolving inside of me as I hung up the phone. Oh shoot, that guy has a key so we can just come inside. I felt the danger of the situation and I rushed towards the front door to try and chain the door closed from the inside, but...
I'm home!
Ah!
Thanks for having us!
I fell back on my butt with my tiny baby in my arms, but my husband and his colleagues ignored me as they stormed right into my house.
Nano! Drinks!
I could hear my husband calling for me from the living room, and then...
Wow, breastfeeding's such a mystery, isn't it? Please, educate us so that we can learn more about it. Well, even though ours is completely flat, I almost feel bad for the baby.
And my husband and his colleagues broke out into laughter. In my arms was a wailing Sakura. At that moment, something inside of me snapped. Shut your mouths, you stupid idiot boys! Before I realized, I was yelling at the top of my lungs as I stormed into the living room. Breastfeeding is a mystery? You want to learn about it? Get the hell out! It's written all over your faces that you just want to see a woman's breasts, you perverts. If you want to see a woman's breasts so badly, why don't you call all your mothers back home and while you're at it, ask to suck on them too? After my explosion, the drunk guys looked like they had ice water dumped all over them. However, my husband had a response.
Hey, Nano! How dare you speak to my colleagues and be rude like that?
You guys are the ones that are being rude. I am desperately trying to raise a 1-month-old newborn baby. And yet you barge into the house in the middle of the night with your colleagues and demand alcohol and snacks and appetizer breasts? Are you kidding me?
Who do you think is providing the food on the table?
And who do you think it is that's cooking that food every single day? And providing living expenses out of my own savings too? Who do you think you are?
But I'm the only one that's working right now. You could let me take a breather every now and then.
Do you need a breather every single night? Are you just holding your breath around the clock at the office? That must be a world record. Let me call the folks at Guinness. They'll be shocked.
Who do you think you are? Then why don't you get out? Go on now, hurry up!
Hey! What are you doing? Let go! Ah! Sorao tightly grabbed my arm that was carrying Sakura and with his wobbly drunk feet started pushing me towards the front door. Before I could even comprehend what was going on, he had shoved me and locked me outside of the house. Hey! You guys are the ones that should be leaving!
Shut up! And don't come back until you're ready to apologize!
But I have a baby with me!
Too bad. That's your own fault.
I banged on the door, but I didn't hear a peep from the inside again. Even if I wanted to open the locked door, all I had was my cell phone with me. What do I do? I can manage if it was just me, but even Sakura? I was overwhelmed with anger and with worry for my daughter, but then I had the idea to call a certain person. It was already 11 p.m. Please, be awake. Hello? Hello, Miss Akyu. Nano? What's wrong? At this time of the night? Please help me. I've been kicked out and locked out by Sarao. What? Wait, what do you mean? I told my mother-in-law everything that just happened. She was furious. That idiot son. Nano, are you still outside of your house right now? I'm going to come pick you up right now, so wait for me. 30 minutes later, my mother-in-law arrived, and she drove me back to her house to take refuge. I'm so sorry that you had to drive all this way. Don't be silly. I can't believe the breastfeeding show. It makes me want to throw up. I didn't want to believe my ears either. Is he getting drunk every single day? Yes. He says his work is really busy, or that his bosses are crap, things like that. Or that the new managing director is young and doesn't know what he's doing, and he's always complaining all the time. What is that idiot saying? A great company like that, where he barely works any overtime, is so hard to find these days. Oh, that's right. Didn't you used to work at the same company back in the day? That's right, and that kid was having so much trouble finding a job that I went and begged them to give him a chance. Does he have no shame? My mother-in-law was retired already, but back in her day, she was a leader even with the directors at the company, and because she had so much influence at the company, she was able to get her son a job there. While she still had her position, apparently Sararo was doing his job seriously, but about a year ago, right around the time he and I got married, my mother-in-law retired, and that was when his behavior started to change. I get the feeling that it was around that time that he also started drinking a lot more too. No, you should stay here for a little while. Are you sure? But you don't need to worry about anything here, okay? If anything, it was my idiot that put you into this position in the first place. So please, it's the least that I can do. Thank you so much. Tears started streaming down my face, and soon after, I was sobbing in my mother-in-law's arms. You must have been going through so much. I'm so sorry, Nono. Raising the baby all alone? Sararo doesn't even try to help me at all. He just gets drunk and tries to hold soccer up. My body hasn't even recovered, but I have to be on alert around the clock. It's one thing for him to be useless, but if he's going to get in the way of you raising the baby, then you need to leave him. And as long as he doesn't come apologize, there's no need to go back there. That night, even though I only got a few short hours as usual, after getting everything off of my chest, I was able to have a deep sleep. The next morning when I woke up, my mother-in-law was already in the kitchen making me breakfast. Good morning, Nano. There's some breakfast if you'd like. Please have some. A bowl of white rice and a radish, miso soup. It was simple, but it was exactly what I needed in this breastfeeding phase, and I could tell that my mother-in-law made it for me with thought and care. Then, around 10 o'clock in the morning, I got a message from my husband.
Hey, Nono! Where the hell did you go? You didn't wake us up, and because of you, we're late to work.
Huh?
Huh? What do you mean, huh? Do you think this is a joke?
You don't remember?
Remember what?
Who was the one that pushed me and locked me out of the house?
Locked you out? Who knows?
It was you, you idiot!
Me? Push you? Why would I do that?
You brought your drunk colleagues over to the house, so I got mad, but then you got even more mad and forced me out.
I don't have any memory of this.
And there it is. Just because you don't remember it doesn't mean you're innocent and off the hook.
I'm innocent! My colleagues say they don't remember either!
Even though they were insisting that I breastfeed in front of them?
What the hell? Is that your fetish?
As if it would be, you idiot!
Whatever. Just come home now. I'm going to go to the office from the afternoon, so I need breakfast and lunch.
Do it yourself!
Excuse me? A full-time housewife and you're planning on sacking your job?
I have no intention of making food for a husband that doesn't even worry about his own daughter.
Is Sakura okay?
It's too late!
Well, what then? What do you want me to do?
You can start with an apology!
Nope, because I haven't done anything wrong.
You locked your wife and your daughter out of the house, and you're saying that that wasn't wrong?
Isn't it your fault in the first place for complaining to me? Even though I'm the only one that's working hard around here?
How dare you!
If anyone's going to apologize, it should be you. I didn't do anything wrong.
You... Oh dear. Did the idiot message you? Yes. My mother-in-law stared at my screen as she read through the messages and simply told me to leave it. So I decided to try and not think about it. To be honest, ever since I retired, I've been pretty bored, so I'm really happy that the two of you are here. At her house, my mother-in-law took care of everything, so I was able to focus all of my time and energy on my daughter. Whenever we would have free time, we would go for coffee together or even go to the movies, and my mother-in-law was like a goddess to me. Thanks to my mother-in-law, I was able to have a few days of peaceful motherhood until... It was a Saturday that day, so my father-in-law was off of work, and the four of us, including my mother-in-law, were going to go out to do some shopping, when suddenly...
Nano! What? You've been at my house?
It was none other than an angry Sorao who showed up at their door. What did you come here for?
We're going home. The house is a mess and the chores are piling up.
Sorao grabbed my arm and started pulling me with force. Thankfully, my mother-in-law came right over to help. What the hell do you think you're doing?
Ow! What was that, Mom?
I should be the one asking you. Have you even apologized properly to Nano yet?
What's there for me to apologize about? I don't remember anything.
You absolute idiot! Why are you even drinking so much that you black out anyway? And on top of that, I heard you tried to make a spectacle out of your wife's precious breastfeeding.
Like I said, I don't remember that.
What makes you think that that's going to fly? Until you get down on your knees and apologize, we'll be keeping Nano safe here.
Oh yeah? Well then fine. Nano, sign this!
Sorao reached into his pocket and pulled out a folded piece of paper as he threw it at me. Divorce papers?
I've had it with you! I'm getting divorced from a useless woman who's home all the time and yet can't even take care of her husband!
Are you being serious right now? Sorao turned his back on me and his mother as he angrily stormed off. Knowing him, he probably has no intention of even paying any child support fees. But at the same time, I knew that I had absolutely nothing to lose by letting that guy go, so I was more than happy to sign the divorce papers. Mr. and Miss Akio, I'm so sorry. You have nothing to be sorry about, Nano. And don't worry, Sorao has another thing coming if he thinks he's getting away with this. My furious mother-in-law made a phone call and then told me to come with her. 1 week after that day...
Hey, what the hell did you guys do?
My ex-husband who came running to his parents' house was already on the verge of tears, as he should have been, because...
Why am I getting fired?
Even though you got the job through personal connections, the moment I'm gone, you stop doing your work, you don't take care of the budget, and you make a lot of mistakes and cause a lot of trouble. What other choice did they have?
But why did the CEO call me to his office? How did it get all the way back to him so suddenly?
That's because I had a certain person help me.
Certain person?
At that moment, the gentleman appeared from behind us and stood in front of Sorao. The moment Sorao saw him, he was shocked into silence.
Mr. Sunio?
Mr. Akio, I've heard a lot about you this time around.
What's the managing director of my company doing here?
Well, back in the day when I was in director training, your mother took very good care of me. I had already heard about your bad attitude and work habits from those in the office, and we took this opportunity to launch an official investigation. And this was the result.
That weekend, after my ex-husband had barged into my house with his colleagues, my mother-in-law, who was the former CEO, got in touch with the current CEO's son and current managing director, Mr. Suneo. After explaining the situation to him, she had asked him to launch an investigation into my ex-husband. This Mr. Suneo's motto was, "I hate dishonest people." And he was a very hard-working and dedicated person. So he took my mother-in-law's request seriously and immediately started looking into it.
You have a daughter this young, and yet you got drunk and locked them out of the house? It's unacceptable. Not only as a husband and a father, but as a human being.
But that's part of my personal life. That has nothing to do with my work.
Over the last month, we also tracked your activities through the GPS on your work cell phone.
What? GPS?
Even during work hours, you would be hanging out at gaming cafes or even at bars. We have all of the data. Would you care to explain?
Well, no, that was just market research and...
Oh, is that so? And what did you find?
No, but I wasn't drinking any alcohol.
But the two colleagues that were with you that day said that you pressured them into drinking with you?
Those bastards!
Our company has no need for alcoholics like you. Should you have any complaints, please feel free to gather the appropriate evidence and take any steps necessary to sue us. Although, I'm certain we won't lose.
It was a complete knockout, and my ex-husband had lost all color from his face as he dragged himself out the door. Thank you. Thank you very much. You came all the way here, and on top of that, you also chased him out for us.
No, this could also affect our business because we don't want any bad luck as a result of him. So of course, it is our duty to make things right.
Not at all. If anything, if I was just able to control my husband more and be a better partner. All right. Sounds like an endless conversation between two very understanding people.
Sorry about that. You're right.
I insisted that I wanted to thank him properly for today, and Mr. Suneo smiled and agreed as he went back to work. So people like that really do exist. Isn't he a great guy? I think someone like that would be perfect for you, Nano. What are you saying? Perhaps this isn't something your former mother-in-law should be saying, but just say the word. He's still single, you know. Even though I just got divorced so recently, I have never met anyone like him. But the biggest problem of all was that I'm still healing in many ways. 1 month after all of that, I was still being taken care of at my mother-in-law's house. Then one day...
No, I'm begging you, please come home!
I'm sorry, who is this?
It's me, it's Sorao!
Oh, Sorao scammer.
What is that?
It's the worst kind of scam in the whole entire world.
I messed up. I'll apologize to you about that time. And I'm not drinking anymore either, so please just come home.
It's not that you're not drinking, is it? What you mean to say is that you don't have any money to buy alcohol, so you haven't been able to drink.
How did you know?
It's not hard to figure that one out.
You don't understand. I have the shakes, and I can't sleep at night. I can't do this anymore. I can never work like this.
I suggest that you go get proper treatment for your condition.
But I'm not sick.
Well, I guess there's no need to help you either then.
No.
Unlike you who is unemployed, I'm actually very busy, so bye.
No, wait. My hemorrhoids have gotten worse and my butt is dying.
Oh dear, well then why don't we put on a Baraginal show?
What's that?
It's where we gather all of the people that we know and have them watch you put the medicine into your butthole.
Of course not! What the hell?
Do you finally understand how I felt? Alright then, empty-headed loser. Blocked. In the end, my ex-husband never even mentioned his daughter or asked or worried about her. I have no intention of ever being in touch with him ever again. For my ex-husband who had lost his job and his wife and had become alone, he finally had to pay for his terrible drinking habit. I heard a rumor that someone saw him in the park, sitting on the bench alone and drinking alcohol from the gas station. I also heard that the 2 colleagues that came into my house with my husband were also fired. On the other hand, I moved back into my parents' house and was set on doing my best as a single mother. I have nothing but gratitude for my parents who welcomed me back so quickly, and my mother-in-law who supported me and told me that I am always welcome back to see her anytime. Before I moved, as promised, I was able to thank Mr. Suneo for his support and go to dinner with him. My heart was racing, probably because it was the first time in a while that I was going out to dinner with a guy, I think. Yeah. Are you sure that's the only reason? Please don't look right into my heart like that. Even after moving back in with my parents, I still keep in touch with my former in-laws. And with Mr. Suneo too, although I'm sure it doesn't mean anything. Hey, everyone, why are you all grinning like that? Stop it! I'm going to keep working hard from now on. Thank you for rooting for me. Tomoya, what do you want for dinner tonight? I want a burger. You just had that yesterday. Because I love them. Huh? Mom, there's something hanging on the doorknob. You're right. Wait, what? Ambulance! We need to hurry! My name is Masumi Hoshizawa. I'm a 30-year-old single mother. My only son Tomoya will be 5 years old this year, and while it might sound silly to say this myself, he's growing up to be a really great little boy. Since his father disappeared, we face a lot of difficulties, but he never ever complains. When I say his father disappeared, that's exactly what happened. When I was 24 years old, I married my childhood friend Mitsuya. Mitsuya and I were next-door neighbors, and we were actually born at the same hospital. Even our parents used to say things like, wouldn't it be nice if these two got married someday? And ever since we were too young to understand what love was, I would say, Mitsuya is my husband and I'm Mitsuya's wife. That's how I grew up. We ended up going to different colleges, but our houses were next door to each other, so we would see each other often and always stayed in touch. And then, around the time we both graduated college and were about to go into the world, our parents suddenly asked, so, when are you two going to start dating? Isn't it about time? Neither of us had ever spoken about it with each other, nor had we ever talked about anything like that. We both had separate college lives that we didn't know about, and Mitsuya might have had a partner during that time. But my feelings were always towards Mitsuya, so that one question became a savior to me. Mitsuya had a blank face and spoke up.
I always thought that when I got married it would be to Masumi. I always thought it might be a little too soon, but what do you want to do, Masumi?
He asked me. Everybody that was there was shocked, but I couldn't hide the happiness that was about to explode inside of me and said, you know, you usually date before getting married, and for some reason slapped Mitsuya on the back quite hard. With the approval of both families, we began dating, and when we both turned 24 years old, we got married, and the next year, our son Tomoya was born. My days were full of bliss, but I had no idea at that time that the footsteps that would destroy the happiness were approaching. One day, a new family moved into the house next door. Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Keiko Asumi. We just moved into the house next door. It's very nice to meet you. Welcome. This was Keiko Asumi, 24 years old. She was a pretty flashy woman and beautiful. Her husband was 10 years older than her, and it was a shotgun marriage. Her daughter was 2 years old, and because our children were also around the same age, she and I became quick friends and would often go to coffee together. She was the type of person who was very open and easily talked about herself, so on the same boat, I started talking about my relationship with Mitsuya. What? You got married to your childhood friend from birth? Your life is like a movie. That's amazing. Not at all. You also had your first baby at 22 years old, and you're an amazing mom. I think that's very commendable, especially when most girls your age are wanting to be wild. Well, it's not always easy. My husband is always at work or working, so he doesn't help with anything. Wouldn't it be nice if they could share the parenting duties? It's their child, and yet they expect to be complimented. Every time they help with a child, I don't like that. I know what you mean. Oh, by the way, I haven't been able to introduce myself to Mr. Mitsuya yet. That's right. Would you like to have lunch at our place this Sunday? I would love to introduce my husband to you. Wow, that That would be lovely. If my husband is free, I would also bring him with me. That weekend, our neighbors came over and we had a little lunch party. I had no idea that introducing Keiko and Mitsuya that day would be something that I would regret for the rest of my life.
Mr. and Mrs. Asumi, nice to meet you both. Thank you for coming over.
I've heard so much about you from Miss Masumi, but you really are such a wonderful husband, and so good-looking.
Oh, don't be silly, Miss Keiko. You're extremely beautiful. You must have been quite popular.
The two of them seemed to get along well, and without hesitation were enjoying themselves at the table. I was also talking to Keiko's husband, but how do I say this? He was a very quiet and calm person, and I got the impression that he was the very polar opposite of his chatty wife, Keiko. After we finished eating lunch and I was cleaning up, I saw out of the corner of my eye Keiko inching closer and closer to Mitsuya. I could only see from afar, so I didn't know exactly what they were doing, but I had a bad feeling wash over me. After they went home, I decided to poke around a little bit with Mitsuya. Hey, isn't she a fun person, Miss Keiko?
Yeah, she is. Tomoya and her daughters were getting along well, too. What do you think about planning routine dinners with them?
That's a great idea. Is that really what you think? Do you have any ulterior motives? Despite thinking this, I wasn't able to ask. This bad feeling is all just in my head. We both have families. Nothing is going to happen. I repeated this to myself as I went back to my life. However, little by little, Mitsuya started changing so much that I could no longer turn a blind eye to it.
Sorry, I'm gonna be late working overtime, so I don't need dinner tonight.
Again, you must be really busy these days.
Our boss just changed, and things have been pretty hectic. I'm gonna be late, so you can head to bed first.
Okay, well, be careful. Mitsuya worked for a food products company in sales, and he often had business trips or worked overtime. But we had a son at home that was about to turn 3 years old. He had told me that he negotiated with his company and that they had agreed to decrease his overtime and give him less business trips. However, over the last few weeks, that overtime had been extreme. Even if his management had changed for the month of July, it didn't make any sense for him to be this busy.
Well then, I'll be going now. Thanks for looking after Tomoya.
Sure, you be careful too, Mitsuya. And so, Mitsuya left on a 1-week business trip to the south. That day, after dropping off my son to his preschool, I decided to follow Mitsuya. The whole time, I was praying in my heart that he really was going to work and that he really was going on a business trip. However, instead of heading towards the train station, Mitsuya stopped by a car rental agency. And waiting there already was that woman. Mr. Mitsuya, I was waiting for you.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, Keiko. Well then, let's get going on our lover's escape.
I can't wait.
What about your daughter? Is she okay?
She's fine. I left her at my parents' place for the week. The bad feeling inside of me was a bullseye. Of course, I started asking why, how, but first, I got straight to action and put my training for when my bad feelings were coming true into use. As the two of them got into the car and got close to each other with their hands all over one another, I made sure to snap photos. That day, I went straight back home. However, that night, I received a shocking phone call. Hello, good evening. Hello, is something the matter? I suppose so. Miss Masumi, you were taking photos of us today, weren't you? You noticed? It was so obvious. You're so bad at it. So you're not even going to apologize or try to come up with an excuse? Why would I? Plus, Mr. Mitsuya is already all over me. He says he's never been happier to be able to date a girl like me because you two got married without having any fun. I can't blame him for falling for my technique that's worked on more than 100 guys. So why are you calling me? And what is it that you want to tell me? Do I have to spell it out for you? I'm telling you to get a divorce. We're not coming back from this vacation for 1 week. So in the meantime, can you prepare everything to be ready? I haven't spoken to my own husband Mitsuya about the divorce yet. Even if you say that, I need to speak to him first. Really? Well then, do you want to hear Mitsuya's voice through the phone? What are you saying? Hey, Mr. Mitsuya!
What is it, sweet Keiko?
Who do you like more, me or Miss Masumi?
What kind of question is that? You, Keiko, of course. When I met you, I understood what true love really was. You said that we could go again after we took a break. Are you ready yet?
I'll be right there.
Well, hurry your little butt up.
Is that enough for you? Well then, I'll leave the rest up to you.
As I stared at my phone screen that had already gone black, I sat there alone, stunned. I could tell that Mitsuya must have been drunk acting like that, but I'm sure those were his true feelings. I'm so glad I recorded that. When I got the incoming call, I saw Keiko's name on my screen, and so I made sure to press record in case I might be able to gather some evidence. It turns out that that was the right thing to do. I couldn't get myself to rush to a divorce, but I immediately packed up my things and went back to my parents' house. I contacted both my parents and my in-laws and decided to immediately have a meeting and tell them everything. As I played the recording for all to hear, Mitsuya's parents were sobbing as they apologized to me. My parents were also shocked and in disbelief. They didn't know what to say. Both sets of parents said that they would be on my side, and while we waited for Mitsuya to return, I went to discuss the divorce with a lawyer and started my own preparations. However, Mitsuya never did come back. Without saying a word to us or his company, Mitsuya and Keiko both disappeared somewhere together. Since they didn't come back after 1 week went by, I went to explain everything to Keiko's husband. Her husband seemed extremely shocked, but that was completely understandable. To make matters worse, even more bad luck was waiting for me. What? MoniRobo finances? A collection letter? To my disbelief, multiple collection letters addressed to me started arriving. The total of that, a whopping $20,000. Mitsuya was borrowing hordes of money under my name in order to go have fun with Keiko. I went straight to my lawyer, but in this situation, she told me that the responsibility to pay for it was still on my shoulders, and that there wasn't much that I could do. As for the divorce, I had to go to civil court and apply for a divorce under serious reasons that make it difficult to continue the marriage. Luckily, the divorce went through with just my paperwork. My in-laws were furious, saying, "We're sorry, this is all because of our idiot son." They paid back the loans under my name in one payment for now. My parents were also quick to lend me a hand whenever they could, and thanks to their support, I felt ready to become a single mother. I'm going to find my own happiness with Tomoya, and one day, I'm going to get my revenge on that brainless scumbag garbage couple. 2 years later, 2 years after all of that, Tomoya had turned 5 years old. In order to support my son, I applied for a few jobs, and I've been doing pretty well in growing my reputation at work. I was given the opportunity of a mid-career hire at a major company called Orchid Enterprises. The company was incredible, with structures such as work-style reform, employee daycare, and heartful work, so that employees with small children could still work full-time through these various structures. It was what any single mother could ever hope for. Unlike most companies, the CEO himself would host all interviews, and the moment he heard about my situation and the reason why I was applying for the job,
Hired! Definitely hired! Hired immediately! Hired!
and he shoved an offer letter and a contract to me right on the spot. I thought it was a bit of a strange CEO, but thanks to him, I'm able to balance my work with my personal life without many struggles, and it was a dream situation. Tomoya, what do you want for dinner tonight?
I want a burger.
You just had that yesterday.
Because I love them. Huh? Mom, there's something hanging on the doorknob.
You're right. Wait, what?
Ambulance! We need to hurry!
Sitting on my doorknob was a tote bag I had never seen before. When I looked inside, I couldn't believe my eyes. There was a live, newborn baby. I immediately called an ambulance and went with the baby to the hospital. Luckily, not too much time had passed since it was left there, and its little life was not in danger, but apparently it was severely malnourished, and it was going to require a lot of care. Next, I went to the police station to file a report, and I turned in the tote bag as evidence. They asked me if I had any idea who might have done this, but I couldn't think of anybody that I knew that would do something this horrible. Although, there was one person who swam in the back of my mind. No way. Surely they would never.
Please tell us anything you might know or think of that could help us.
I explained the situation 2 years ago of my ex-husband and Keiko to the police officer. There, they did a DNA test on my son Tomoya and the abandoned baby, and if they were related biologically, then we would be able to confirm that the baby's father was in fact Mitsuya. Just in case, to prove that it wasn't my child, I participated in the DNA test as well. The result results were clear. Tomoya and the baby were related. This became an incident of child neglect, and the police launched an official investigation. It didn't take long for them to find Mitsuya and Keiko, who had run away with him, and bring them in cuffs.
Damn it, let go of me! We haven't done anything! I don't know anything about a baby!
That's right! This is an unlawful arrest!
The police said that they were spewing these lies and excuses as they were arrested. On top of that, they found them in a disgusting and unsanitary crap apartment. It was no environment for a newborn baby to be in, much less raised in. I felt the pain deep into my heart. I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that my ex-husband had run away and disappeared with his cheating partner, and then had a baby, and on top of all of that, abandoned it on my door in that way. How insane would you have to be to do that? In the investigation and police interviews after,
We don't have any money, and Keiko got her dumb self pregnant.
Are you kidding me? You're the one that failed with the contraception!
It looks like you're both unemployed right now, but how are you living up until now?
That's none of your business. What does that matter? We didn't have any money for an abortion, so we had no choice but to have it.
And how did you know your ex-wife, Miss Hoshisawa's address?
Obviously, so that I could get money out of her somehow. I heard that woman found a job and was earning quite a good salary. If she was able to make the loan that I left her with disappear, then I'm sure that she'd be able to help her ex-husband in a breeze.
If I had known that this guy was this useless, I never would have left my last husband or followed him anywhere. Apparently, before she went on maternity leave, Miss Masumi was the one earning all of the money. But he made it seem like he was the one supporting the family. He tricked me. I was deceived. I am a victim.
Oh, shut up already. You're the one who approached me in the first place. Hey, Mr. Policeman, call Masumi and get her here. I'm sure she's still in love with me. I'm sure she'll help me. Hey, please, call her.
the two of them tried to pin the blame on the other, and I heard that it was one of the most disappointing and irritating investigations. For what it's worth, it's true that I was the one that was earning more. Mitsuya was a regular employee at a regular company. I was working in sales at a major trading company. We went to vastly different colleges, and Mitsuya was never that great in school to begin with. It was no surprise that that would continue to show in his work. Oh, once my maternity leave was finished, I was planning on returning to my previous job, but it was a pretty intense company and wouldn't have been easy as a single mother, which is why I decided to change companies. At the time I got married, my annual salary was around $80,000, and if I had stayed there and continued doing well, $100,000 was definitely within reach. At my new company, I am aiming high as I continue to work hard.
Your ex-husband is requesting a meeting with you, but what would you like to do?
I suppose I should maybe see him one last time.
Masumi, you came for me!
This is a waste of my time, so just answer my questions. Why did you throw away your family and choose Keiko over us?
That's because ever since I was little, I knew that I was going to marry you, and I thought that that would be fine, so I never had been in any sort of relationship or experienced anything. That's why a girl like Keiko, who was experienced, well, let's just say that I wasn't able to think with my head. I was brainwashed. I realized immediately that it was just a momentary mistake.
Even after taking out loans of $20,000 under my name?
That was an extension of that momentary mistake.
I have absolutely no intention of getting back with you. I just wanted to hear it in your own words why you left your family like that. You may call it a momentary mistake, but sooner or later this was bound to happen because you are a true piece of crap down to your core. Marrying you is the worst thing I ever did in my life.
Don't say that! We've been together ever since we were born! Oh, and what about Tomoya? I know he's sad without me, right?
Tomoya thinks that you're dead, and he's doing just fine without a father, so no need to worry about him.
How?
Also, the people who fronted the payment for your loans was your parents. Even when you get out of prison, I'm sure they won't let you get away with it, so be prepared.
Wait, please, Masumi!
The two of them were, of course, found guilty and sentenced to prison, and they'll be spending a couple of years behind bars. On top of that, Keiko was sued by her ex-husband and would have to pay a settlement fee, so she's currently back in court for that. After his release, Mitsuya is under watch by his parents, as he's working morning until night fight in order to pay back his debt. He is also paying child support fees as well as a settlement fee for the divorce. As soon as he got out of prison, my father went straight to find Mitsuya and gave him a piece of his mind, so I'm sure he will never come anywhere near us again. My father is a former professional boxer, and I can only imagine the state that he left him in. If he ever causes any problems for us again, he would be left in the hands of my father, and I'm sure that would be scarier than court. It's good motivation to make sure Mitsuya keeps working. After having the time of his life for 2 years, he can spend the rest of his life until the day he dies paying for it. As for Mitsuya and Keiko's little girl, she was able to make a full recovery. After multiple discussions, we decided to place her in a special orphanage. As for what happened after that, due to privacy reasons, I wasn't able to know details, but I can only hope that she lands in the hands of better people and finds happiness. Years later, Tomoya and I are still living together, the two of us. To be honest, I have no intention of finding another partner, nor any desire to fall in love. Once Tomoya became independent, to make the most of my time again, I'm planning on going on a long-term holiday, and that is the biggest excitement right now. It'll be a few more years until he becomes an adult, and until that day comes, I'll keep doing my best as a hard-working single mother.